every single year. The average professional leaves around $7,500 on the table simply by not negotiating effectively, according to a study by salary.com. That's thousands slipping right through your fingers without you even realizing it. And here's the kicker. Every month you wait to fix this, the opportunity cost grows, potentially robbing you of tens of thousands over your career. If you've ever settled for a salary, a price, or a deal just to avoid conflict, or because you didn't know what to say next, listen up. What you're about to learn could mean an extra $80,000 or more in lifetime earnings. The typical negotiation mistake isn't just awkward, it's expensive. And fixing it is easier than you think. Stay with me, because I'll break down the 5 research-backed negotiation moves directly from the legendary book. Getting to yes that will permanently level up your results, your confidence, and your bank account. Plus, I'm revealing the one dirty tactic almost nobody sees coming, and how to flip it in your favor before this video's over. Let's get brutally honest here. Most people lose real, hard-earned money simply because they haven't learned how to negotiate beyond the classic tug of war. You want $500, they want $800. And suddenly, it's not about the actual deal. It's about who wins and who gives up first. That's positional bargaining. 2 parties battling over numbers or terms. And research from Harvard Business School shows it more often leads to worse deals and soured relationships than real solutions. According to salary.com, 59% of people accept the first offer on salary negotiations, leaving as much as $7,500 per year and up to $80,000 every decade unclaimed. So let's do it differently. Today, I'll walk you step by step through the 5 game-changing negotiation principles from Getting to Yes, a must-read for anyone who wants to keep more money and negotiate smarter. Even if you're buying a car, landing a new client, or arguing over rent. These strategies absolutely apply. And don't miss the end. I'll expose the most common dirty tricks and how to disarm them like a pro. Plus, I'll show you a free negotiation prep checklist you can download to boost your results, starting today. Okay, step 1. Separate the people from the problem. This isn't the typical just be nice advice. Instead, it's about shifting from a blame game with the other person to a collaborative focus on solving the real issue. Next time you negotiate, think a $25,000 car purchase with a pushy dealer. It's easy to feel attacked. He counters your price, your walls go up, and suddenly you're thinking, he's just being stubborn. Instead of probing further, but the data is clear. Negotiations framed as adversarial lower joint value by up to 40%, per a Stanford study. So, what can you do? Switch gears. Ask questions like, what's included in this price? What would have to change for you to consider adjusting the terms? You're inviting them to explain, not defend. And with that, you start working on the problem. Maybe it's the price. Maybe it's the timeline. Maybe it's extras eased together. When you shift from battling a person to solving an issue, you create more room for compromise and bigger wins for both sides. Quick pause. Imagine this in action. You're buying a used car listed at $11,000. Instead of badgering the seller, you say, "Is there a reason it's at this price? Can you walk me through the maintenance and upgrades?" Now, you're not attacking. They're more likely to open up about costs. Maybe reveal they're covering a recent $1,200 repair, or that they're in a hurry to sell. This can open the door to a fair $9,800 offer that feels collaborative, not confrontational. Let's pause for our first progress marker. Principle 1 down, 4 to go. And already we're seeing how a simple mindset shift can recapture thousands lost to ego-driven negotiation. And let's be real. A single well-managed negotiation on something like a salary or house purchase can be worth the equivalent of months, if not years, of incremental growth elsewhere in your finances. But if you're wondering how to move past surface-level standoffs, get ready for the principle that will flip the script on what you think negotiation even means. Principle 2. Focus on interests, not positions. This is one of the most common and costly failures in everyday negotiating. Positions are demands. I want the whole orange. Interests are why you want it. Maybe it's the juice for a recipe or the peel for a cake. When two parties just state positions, the outcome is all or nothing. But when they reveal interests, there's often overlap that creates win-win scenarios. The Harvard Negotiation Project found that interest-based negotiation increased the pie for both parties by 30% in complex business deals. So, how do you apply this? Always dig one level deeper. Ask, what's driving this demand? Or how does this solve your need? You might find, for instance, that a contractor wants upfront payment, not just because they're greedy, but because they've got suppliers breathing down their necks. And you can offer staged payments instead. Here's a real-world case, says. Two businesses negotiating a services contract. One wanted a 2-year exclusivity clause, the other refused. Digging deeper, it turned out the concern was being locked out of a fast-changing market, not the deal itself. By offering the option to renew after 1 year, both sides got what they actually needed: security and flexibility, not just what they stated up front. Financial recap. The typical person who asks questions about interests rather than just positions can gain up to 7% more value in negotiations, says a 2018 LinkedIn survey. Over a decade of deals, salary raises, home purchases, client contracts, that's easily tens of thousands recaptured. Quick engagement check is. If you've ever walked away from a negotiation feeling like you left money on the table, drop a $sign in the comments right now. I want to see just how many money masters are learning alongside you. Before we hit the next tactic, let me tease you. Principle 3 is the secret engine behind creative deal-making, and very few ever use it to its full potential. But it's the one that can create solutions from thin air and boost your lifetime earnings more than you think. Ready? Here's where it gets exciting. Principle 3. Invent options for mutual gain. Now you've uncovered the real interests behind each side's position. Don't settle for boring A or B choices. The best negotiators invent C, D, and E. The classic example: a startup founder and a top candidate are stuck. The candidate wants more equity, but the founder needs to protect ownership. They brainstorm and land on a performance-based equity schedule, solving the equity conundrum by introducing a new shared value driver. The data backs this up. According to a Wharton study, negotiations that include mutual option brainstorming result in a 25% higher probability of closing and an average of 11% more value retained by both sides. Don't try to be a creative hero in isolation, either. Invite the other person, yeah? Let's throw out ideas. No bad suggestions for the next 5 minutes. Let's get practical. You're negotiating freelance rates. Client balks at your number. Instead of deadlock, you offer a pilot project at a discounted rate, with a clause to renegotiate if you crush it, or extra services bundled in for both sides' benefit. This flexibility often unlocks thousands in long-term value. One pilot project that leads to Ongoing work could mean an extra $10,000 or more in income over the next year alone. And don't forget, you're not always going to spark creativity on both sides. Sometimes you hit a wall. So how do you keep from getting boxed in? Forced to lower your price or take whatever scraps you can. Just to close, don't stop now. The next principle is the ultimate insurance against walking away empty-handed. Step 3 down, 2 more to go. Principle 4. BATNA. Best alternative to a negotiated agreement. Before any negotiation, smart players figure out their best backup plan so they never get desperate. When you know your BATNA, you walk in with options and leverage, not fear. Quick scenario. A graphic designer is negotiating with a new client who starts lowballing. If she has no other work lined up, she may feel forced to accept $30 per hour, even though her usual is $60. But if she's already talking to 2 other clients, one ready to book at $55 per hour, another with consistent monthly needs, she has power. She can decline the lowball offer confidently or counter at her minimum acceptable rate, knowing she's got a safety net. In fact, the Department of Labor has found that workers who explore competing offers or develop strong BATNAs are paid on average 5 to 14% more than those who don't, amounting to $5,000 to $14,000 per year for many professionals. Improving your BATNA is simple. List all your alternatives before your next negotiation. Polish the best one if you're job hunting. Interview at multiple places. If you're buying, line up a competing quote. You'll feel your confidence soar, and research says the value of your deals will track right alongside. By now, you can see how each negotiation principle, if applied just once a year on a job offer, home purchase, big contract could mean $5,000, $10,000, even $25,000 difference in outcome over time. Imagine that compounding across your whole career. Quick micro call to action. Ahas. Know someone who always gets steamrolled in negotiations. Share this video with them. Help them. Stop leaving thousands on the table and level up alongside the Money Masters crew. Before we dive into our final and most underused principle, the one that disarms stubborn opponents, in seconds, let's close this curiosity loop. Nearly every negotiation mistake I see comes down to skipping the objective criteria step. Here's why this is your pressure release valve. Principle 5. Use objective criteria. When disagreements flare up, I want this. No. I want that. Too many people lean on gut feelings or try to outmuscle their opponent. Top negotiators anchor everything to neutral facts. Example: a friend selling her car. Buyer lowballs at $7,500 for a model worth $9,000. Rather than arguing, she pulls the Kelly Blue Book objective, data-backed value. Instantly, both sides are debating numbers, not egos. They settle at $8,800, market value, no emotional hangover. Not every situation has a perfect pricing chart, but you can always make your logic explicit. Maybe you're a small business owner negotiating with a supplier for graphic design services, and there's no industry-wide rate. Instead of guessing, you break down your real needs. Here's my available budget. Here's the profit margin I need. Does this fit for you? Suddenly, it's about business math, not personal willpower. And that clarity often brings unexpected respect, even when deals don't close. They end on better terms and sometimes lay the groundwork for future opportunities. Objective criteria produces real values. A 2021 MIT Sloan study found that negotiators who used independent standards closed mutually beneficial deals 45% faster, with 16% less conflict, and often preserved relationships for future business. That's the kind of edge that pays you back over and over. Reputation is an asset in every field. And don't forget, sometimes the objective data is your own logic, transparently shared. Walk them through your numbers, your constraints, or your goals. Transparency can be your shield against hidden motives and games. Final financial impact summary for all 5 techniques. If you recapture even $5,000 per year using these principles, you're looking at a possible $50,000 to $100,000 in extra value per decade. That's enough to max out an IRA, wipe out credit card debt, or buy your next car in cash. Now, let's address the flip side. How to spot and stop dirty negotiation tricks before they cost you. And stick around for your negotiation checklist, download, and my secret final strategy for resetting a conversation going off the rails, dirty tactics, and how to disarm them. Not every negotiation will be sunshine. And yes, some deals involve people using manipulative tactics to catch you off guard. Let's blitz through the 3 most common. First, the take it or leave it play. It's often just a bluff, but can spook you into accepting a bad deal. The right response is calm confidence. Say, I completely get you have to draw a line, but I'm here to create a solution that works for both sides. If that's your final offer, I may need to walk away, but I'm happy to discuss any other options. This flips the power. You're not desperate. You're in control, thanks to your BATNA. Next, the guilt trip move. If you don't agree, it'll put us in real trouble. Don't take emotional bait. Please, his son is here. Acknowledge the situation. I hear things are tight, but keep things logical. As my goal is to reach an agreement that works for both our needs. Then comes the delay tactic. Endless. I need to think about it. Dragging for days, even weeks. Don't let them hold your outcome hostage. Set a friendly but clear deadline. Let's set a date to reconnect by Friday so we can both plan accordingly. This keeps the ball in your court, not theirs. If someone tries to derail you with a blizzard of unrelated issues, respectfully call it out. I feel like we're bouncing around. Can we refocus on the main points so we're in sync? That's how you bring a drifting negotiation back on target and save everyone time and headache. All these dirty tactics are disarmed faster and with less stress when you use the 5 principles we've covered. Negotiation is a skill no one's perfect at it from day one. You'll fumble sometimes. The big money move is to learn, adapt, and come back stronger with every deal. Curious about the practical side? Grab the free negotiation prep checklist. Download link in the description to start prepping smarter for every negotiation. Whether it's a $50 Facebook Marketplace buy or a $50,000 salary review. And now, I want to hear from you. How much money do you think you've lost by not negotiating? Be real. Drop your estimate in the comments. Let's open up this conversation for the entire Money Masters community. Also, remember, your next raise or big win isn't handed to you, it's negotiated. Stay tuned for the close, where I'll recap your action plan and invite you to share your story for a chance to be featured. Next week, here's your Money Masters recap is: to win big in any negotiation, you need to 1. Separate the people from the problem. 2. Focus on underlying interests instead of sticking to positions. 3. Invent options for mutual gain. 4. Always know your BATNA before you walk in. And 5. Anchor every final agreement to objective criteria, not emotions. Each of these steps can mean thousands of dollars extra in your pocket every single year. So, what's next? First, download the negotiation prep checklist, linked below. Fill it out before your next dollar deal. No matter the size. This week, pick one upcoming negotiation, a bill, a service, a contract, even a discussion with your landlord, and try applying just the first two principles. Shift to collaboration and uncover real interests. Over the next 30 days, log the financial difference in your Money Masters tracker. Was it 50, 500, or more? At 90 days, look for recurring negotiations in your work or life and use the full 5-step framework. Checking your annualized savings or earnings jump. Long term. Revisit your checklist before any major negotiation and track your compounded wins over 6 to 12 months. Don't let those sums slip away. Remember, results vary. Every deal is different, and perfecting these skills takes practice. But with every negotiation, you're building your financial future. Want to keep your momentum, sir? Subscribe to Money Masters and turn on notifications. Next week, I'll break down the data behind the most effective salary negotiation script, complete with real-world ROI and risk factors. Drop your best or worst negotiation moment below. I might feature your story in our next episode. And if you know someone still leaving money behind, share this link and help them start keeping what's theirs. Download your free negotiation prep checklist, and let's keep stacking those wins together. And a final note, every number in this video comes from published studies or market data, and actual outcomes depend on your unique situation. This video is for education, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and consider consulting a professional for major deals.